This naturally has a humiliating effect on the whole profession.
The public can never tolerate it.
Proceedings are not public. They could be, but they're not.
I still don't know of what I'm accused.
Naturally not. The legal records for the case with charges are not available to counsel for the defence. Consequently, one doesn't know with any precision what charges to meet in the first plea.
But
So
how,
you cannot draw up a plea just yet.
how can I find out if they don't tell me?
Guesswork! Don't worry, things aren't as hopeless as they seem.
So, you cannot know of what you are accused, or whom by. The case isn't recognised by the judges, and you can't even see the charges.
There is some difference of opinion on that. The legal defence really mechanises the counsel defence as merely petty fogging lawyers. The lawyers are abominably treated.
Wouldn't it be better to write one's own defence and give a short account of my life and the important decisions I've made? That way I could say why I made those decisions and in retrospect say whether I approve or disapprove. Then the courts could decide whether I'm capable of some crime.
You need me, Kay. You need me. That's why you come to me. Me, Hold, for advice. Now, what's that story going round? What is it?
I wanted to talk to you.
I wanted to talk to you too.
Don't think about him now. Think about me now for a change. I was afraid you wouldn't like me.
Like you. I'd hardly keep my eyes off you.
I thought so too. Yet you kept me waiting. You better call me Lenny.
I'd be glad to, Lenny.
Do you really like me?
Like is not the word I would have
What
chosen.
word would you have chosen?
Well,
Go on, tell me you say it loudly to me. Say
a
it.
bit shy when you put it like that.
There's no need to be shy, Joseph. We'll be happy together. There's no need to be shy anymore. You're brooding too much. We'll be okay.
Who told you that?
Don't ask me for names, but I can give you some advice. Confess, Joseph, otherwise you won't get away from them.
No! I remember that story. Damn! It's gone again!
I know a lot about what goes on in the courts. I could help you, you know.
Why is it that I attract so many female helpers? First, a Mrs. Bursner. And then, the laundress. And now her. Wonder what it is about me.
Do you have a lover?
Yes and no. I have a photograph here.
I don't like her. She's rough and clumsy, but perhaps she's soft and kind to you.
She's not that soft.
So she isn't your lover after
Oh,
all?
yes.
Perhaps she is, but you wouldn't miss her if you exchanged her for me.
Certainly I would.
You would?
Yes.
Would you really?
Oh, you've kissed me.
Kay can feel her body against his breast. She clasps both hands around his neck and kisses on the back of his head. Yes, yes, she's biting him now into the very hairs of his head.
Oh, yes! I remember now!
Quick, here's the key for the door. Come back whenever you like. You belong to me now.
Joseph, how could you do it? You've damaged your case quite badly and it's beginning to go well.
Was it?
Of course it was. But you hide yourself away with a filthy slut, who's obviously the lawyer's mistress. And you stay there for hours.
She was nice.
You make no attempt to fight your
I'm
case.
exhausted by my case. I want to forget it.
He wants to forget what might end in his own death.
By negligence.
Abusing me. Hold. A man of importance and influence who is actually in charge of its case at the present stage. There we sit, trying to help you.
I gained something.
Oh, yes? What?
I saw a painting of a judge.
Ooh! He saw a painting of a judge!
He was seated in a high, throne-like chair with great dignity. He looked so powerful, so wrathful, that one would have thought he was about to pounce up at any moment and pronounce sentence. He might be my judge.
He had himself painted like that. Actually, he's a dwarf sat on a kitchen chair with a dirty old horse blanket doubled underneath him. It was a winter's morning, snow was falling outside, and Kay was in his office already, exhausted in spite of the early hour.
He left a message. He wasn't supposed to be disturbed. He didn't want to be seen in this state, a face-saving operation.
Instead of working, he sat silent with a bowed head. The thought of his lawsuit never left him now. And again, he considered whether or not it would be better to draw up a written concept and hand it to the court.
The advantage of a written defence compared to a doubtful law were obvious. Kay had no idea what the lawyer was doing about his case.
There were so many questions to ask. To ask questions was surely the main thing. I must shake off this lawyer, send in petitions, urge the officials to give their attention to it. The whole of my life will have to be written out, to every small action, to every fine detail. The courts will encounter a man who stands up for his rights. But if we are to achieve anything, we must banish from our minds the absolute thought of my possible guilt. There is no such guilt.
At long last, Kay made up his mind to take the case out of his lawyer's hand. To screw himself to this decision cost him a lot of energy, but Kay was resolved.
Promise not to betray me.
Not an informer.
Perhaps I shouldn't tell you.
You could risk it.
I can.
Yes.
I'm the lawyer's only real client. I live here. I have a little room to myself.
Are you Lenny's mistress?
Oh, God, no. What's he thinking of?
What's your name then?
Look, I'm a car merchant. Let me tell you something. But to make sure we have a hold of each other, you should tell me whatever your secrets.
All right, but if I do, will you get off my back?
Okay. I've been waiting for my case to come up for years. So I've taken on 5 lawyers, apart from Hall.
5?
And I'm negotiating for 6. You mustn't give me away.
I said I wouldn't.
It's vindictive, you see.
Surely he won't harm you for having more than one lawyer.
But it's not allowed. Least of all back alley lawyers. And that's what they are.
Why do you need so many?
I can't lose my case. I attack it with all my strength. I spend all my money on it. I have no energy left for my other work. How can I? I have to be at the courts nearly all the time.
What do you do there?
Nothing. I simply sit and wait. But what energy it takes sitting. I saw you there the other day.
Saw me? What coincidence. You were there in the lobby when I passed through?
It's not such a coincidence. I have to be there nearly every day. We knew you were an accused man. The accused are tired and distracted and seek refuge in superstition. The bailiff said he saw in your lips the sign of your own guilt. Funny, isn't it?
So on my lips. There's nothing peculiar about my lips, is there?
Of course not. Superstitious beliefs are tradition. Helps the community to combat law. It gives them something to do.
Do what? It's so pointless sitting around waiting. I think they should form some community action.
Pointless? What would you know? You're a newcomer. You're young to the matter. You may think, as I once did, that you can simply wash your hands clean of the case. But you'll be wrong. I remember when my case was as young as yours. Like you, I had just one lawyer. I collected evidence, attended every interrogation, made notes, submitted various petitions, showed my account books. I ran backwards and forwards. For bits of information. I had a detailed analysis of every case from ancient times that was supposed to resemble mine. Yet, after all this, I couldn't detect 1 inch of